Telly, I've told you time and time again, those fighter jets aren't going to get you. They just want to watch you, keep an eye on you, because I think you're some kind of a national threat. That's why they keep flying over here. You're from another planet or something. Okay? She doesn't care. She just don't like the fighter jets. Well, I ain't posted on here in a week or so. So I already started working, and then I got to thinking. There's people out there crazy enough to want to watch what I'm doing. They just like stuff like this. I don't know why. I don't watch stuff like this, but let me come back here and show you what I'm doing. And, well, it involves that gizmo there. Chickens are out. They're enjoying a very nice day. All right, well, as you know, or may not know, last year I got a free land survey because the neighbor was surveying his property, and he had to access my property to find, well, here where his property line was. And the guy was cool enough, he gave me a free survey. And what I thought was my land that went back there actually went that way. So as you can see, up here we have a stake in the corner. Let's go on up there. Let me just point out what I'm doing. All my solar lights, man, they stayed on all night last night. I got 40 of them out here. And so this time of year is when I want to tackle all this kind of stuff, because it grew, you know, most of the year last year, and I don't want it to spring up again, because I need to stay on it this year. But this stake here is my property line in this corner. So what I'm working on today is clearing this property line. I don't want it to get overrun with brush, and it goes right behind this tree through there. We're pretty good over here. There's a little bit I got to cut back, but for the most part it comes this way. So I want to get the brush cutter, because I want to put a fence in here. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I want to get all this cleared and keep it clear. Once you cut it a few times, it doesn't really come back. But I want to keep all this clear, so when I do go to put my fence up, I don't have to, 19-foot tall Chinese privet in the way. And over here we have, he kind of put one in the middle for me so I can keep track of which, where my land is. So I'm trying to hurry. So all of this I have to cut down. Everything ahead of this stake. And I've already been out here this morning and I've knocked all this down. So this stake here goes about, a few feet past that last tree there next to that dead tree. So this whole line needs to be cleared out. You can see there's some of it 10 feet tall. And I don't want it getting any thicker. I don't want it getting any taller. And I need to get the chainsaw out and cut this tree out of here before it buds open. But this really isn't that hard. I cleared it last year, but man, this stuff grows back so fast. If you cut it down for 3 or 4 years in a row, like it was in here, it doesn't come back anymore. And this hasn't come back for several years, probably 8 years. It's been clear like this. And this will eventually be that way. Now, if you're asking, why don't you get a brush hog and go down here? As you can see, this hill, it's full of tree stumps, it's full of timber, it's on a slope. Trust me, when I tell you, you can't brush hog this. At least I'm not going to brush hog it. I'm not going to invest in a brush hog. I just do it by hand. It's good for me, it's good exercise, and it isn't that big of a job. I'm just used to it. But these trees are invasive. These things here, I don't remember what you call them, and I need to get them down now, because that grew that tall last summer. So that grew almost 7 feet tall just last summer, and this Chinese privet's always something to fight with. So I'm gonna get the tripod over here and set up the time lapse. You guys can see me knock some of this down. Now I don't have the best blade on that thing right now, so I'm gonna go as far as I can with it. Tomorrow I'll pick up a new blade if I need to. But if I don't get this down now, it's going to be much harder sometime this summer. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, I'm not getting the tractor and going in there. It's too slopey, too rocky. I don't want to tip the tractor. Another windy day, chickens. I believe you got your own bowl, young lady. But you know what? The chicken water always tastes better to her because it's in the shade. Yours is in the shade too. So don't make these people think that I'm cruel. All right, I'm going to gear up, put you on a tripod, and go to town. No, I'm not going to town. Going to town on the work. Always that one in the blue chair. Got to take me literal. He said he's going to town. But he ain't going to town. He's going to get that brush cutter on. He's going to cut some brush. You in the blue chair. I feel like I could just take off and fly for some reason. I don't know. Oh, hawk feather. Yeah. Man, I tell you, you put this against the wind, you can see how they fly. It just resists that wind and it gives you a lift. These birds are on to something. Anyway, that's about as much as I can get with that saw blade. I've sharpened it as many times as I can sharpen it. It's seen better days, but we got most of it. It may not look it, but most of that's all cut down and it's laying down. And once it dries up, I'll gather it up and put it in the burn pile. Just got a little bit left to go. Actually, probably to that tree. That big tall tree, we got to that tree, get some of that down, but man, I got a pretty good portion of it. Now, let me see if I can show you this property line over here. It usually doesn't come up on the picture. You come down in here. I gotta watch for rattlesnakes. This is where I've seen them. There's a pink ribbon right there, and that's where my property line is, right below that. So all of this I want to get cut down short. Yes, I know it'll grow back. I know that, but you piss it off enough years, it doesn't come back. And a lot of people are going to comment on different ways to get this done that makes things easier. Well, let me tell you, this is the way I've been doing it for all the years I've been here. And losing weight, doing this kind of work, there's nothing wrong with it. This is the best kind of work you can do. This keeps me in shape and I enjoy it. It's kind of fun using that brush cutter and getting all that stuff knocked down, and I like coming back later and looking at it and looking at the results. Makes my view better. Already I can see the view is better. So there's no easier way that I want to do. Maybe there's an easier way. Maybe I could hire 10 guys to come out here and cut it down for me. But that's not what I choose to do. So this is just a short one. We'll get it up for you guys, but I've been working on the land. I don't know if I've shown on this video, so let's go on this channel. I got all this lumber cleared from here. I got all this cleaned out. I got all the weeds and the Chinese privet out of here. So now we have a nice clean space. Okay. Oh, I know, a big update. Got all the scrap metal. It is gone. Yeah, I ran over a piece of barbed wire. Now I got a flat on my mower. I think it'll hold air long enough to mow. But all this was filled with scrap metal. You can see where it was. Had a scrap guy come. I appreciated that from him. And he got a couple $100 worth of scrap metal. That certainly looks better. I need to do something with that firewood over there. Once we get the fire pit going, I'll burn all that up. And then I've got this junk pile gone. That's right. Been going over it with the magnet, putting the screws in that little bowl. There's a lot of cleanup left to do. I'm going to build a grizzly now. What I did, there was just so much little stuff in there. I just picked up scoops with the tractor. I brought them out over here. I'm going to let the rain take care of a lot of this. The rain will wash away the dirt, expose the rocks and the junk, and then I'll build a grizzly. And then I'll come get scoops and I'll put it on the grizzly and sift out the roofing shingles, all the junk. It looks terrible now, but this was the easiest way at the time where I could get that pile out of there. And then this right here, from that stake to where that bowl is where my new shop will be sitting. People have asked, why do you want it way back here? Well, my answer is, I'm not lazy. I don't mind walking 100 feet to the shop. Also, if the house or the shed were to catch on fire, this is far enough away it could be saved. I would have somewhere I could live if needed, you know, if I needed to. You don't want things crammed together. You can do that in a city, but in the country, in a national forest where you get fires, and we've already had a fire here, you don't want things on top of each other that are going to catch fire. So spreading them out is a good thing. Also, I have to have a clear path around my home and around my property for fire trucks. I've already been through this in 2015. They come through with a tanker, they drop water all the way around. You have to have a clear path all the way around. Yes, I could put this shop up here, but I also got these tall trees, and that pine tree is the main reason. I could take the pine tree down, but I like the pine tree. It's not bothering nobody there. This is the better location. Also, most importantly, this is the flattest ground on the property. I can get it here. I can level this off with minimal work, and it's just a good, nice open spot for it. So there's my reasoning there. That, I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm waiting to pay my taxes still, and well, that's gonna give me a good idea of how much money I got left to go towards one. So until then, until the next video, that's the update for the day. Let's see if Miss Telly has anything to add. Do you have anything to add to the movie? Yeah? What did you want to tell them? Well, that's a lie. You're not going to tell them that I've been abusing you. You look like you've been abused. Yeah, they're going to look at your face and say, oh yeah, she's abused and spoiled. I think it's more like spoiled. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Happy trails. Chirp, 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 chirp. Chirp, 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 chirp. Chirp. They're listening, Telly. I know birdnese. Do you understand me? What do you want me to tell them? You want some seed? Chirp, 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 chirp. They said go to hell, Telly. That one there said it.